Good morning, everybody. It's still early. Excuse me, I didn't do my hair yet, but I just want to show you guys quickly what it means, to vibe code in 2026 and what it all entails. Because if you want to push production ready applications, you're going to work hard. You're really going to work hard, right? You're going to work very hard. So I'm building this voice app. It's going to be a SaaS, which I am going to put out there for others to use. It's going to be for a specific industry. Doesn't matter. Long story short, I have to make really serious design and architectural and infrastructure choices, and they require you to think for a moment and really sit back and figure things out. The way I do it, because sometimes, in a real team, right, a software company, or let's say an agency that builds applications for others, right, there are certain roles, there are different roles. So in a real professional company, you're going to definitely have about, I don't know, 5, 6 people working on one application, and everybody has their specific role. You have a back end developer, front end, then you have the product designer and all that other fancy stuff. And now you're a vibe coder and you got to do all of that by yourself. I mean, you could get together with a group of vibe coders. I always recommend doing that. I do have a partner, I would say. It's Alisher. And I think it's very important to have a partner, someone by your side that you can just throw things, back and forth and talk about ideas and just suss things out together. 2 brains are better than one, 3 brains are better than one, 5 brains are even better. So if you got a couple friends and they're all on your wavelength, then hey, get them, right? Grab them and build with them. Don't do it alone. So the thing is, I'm facing a little, not an issue. It's not an issue. It's working, but I'm facing a real, I have to make a decision now, and it has to make sense. Of course, I can probably change that later, but the thing is now I have to figure out, because this voice agent that I'm building, or this voice driven application that I'm building, handles numbers, real numbers, because if you have a voice bot, you need a number to call the voice bot. And now it's like, how are we going to go about this? Am I going to add a function where the customer can purchase their own number, which is a big thing? Or do I pre-purchase the numbers and place them in a pool and give them to the people? It's going to make it easier for the user, but it's going to require an extra step from my side, and that can be, also in some shape or form automated. And these are just things that when you're building a production ready application, these are things that you just have to. You're going to run into these situations where you have to make a decision, and that decision will decide and result in how good your app is, if it makes sense or not. Now, of course, what I could do, because this is not the first voice-driven app out there, I could go online and I can research other products and see how they do it. And then sit back and say, okay, well, there are 10 products already out there and they all do it that way. And then I would sit back and be like, okay, should I do it that way? Why are they all doing it that way? And why should I do it differently? So that's going to, you're not going to make this decision in 5 minutes. I took a step back. I was building yesterday and then I stopped coding, because I'm like, okay, now I hit this snag. I got to think about it. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to just not think about it, then come back the next morning and here I am. Yeah, that's how it goes, right? I work 7 days a week. There is no break for me. Of course I take breaks, but it's not like, oh, it's Saturday, I'm not going to build. Oh, it's Sunday, I'm not going to build. That doesn't happen. That's also something that you have to keep in mind, right? If you're a vibe coder, you're going to be coding. You're going to be doing this stuff for hours on end. You can't just build an app in 5 minutes. And I love when people be like, yeah, I can build an app in 2 minutes. No, you can't. It's not a real app. It's something on your screen and you can click buttons and it does something. It's not an app. Okay, it's not a real app because you don't have a login. It's not out in the public and people can't hit it. And you got something on your screen that you can just spin up and use. It's fun. But a real SaaS, right? What a lot of people, they want to build an app and make money. It's SaaS, right? Software as a service. Um, it's crazy, y'all, because, you know, it's easier to build software now, but the bar has just been, it's like you're not going to make money with your app that nobody cares about. And making people care about your app is going to cost you a lot of energy. It is what it is. That's just where we are in 2026. If you guys think hi exclusive, hope you're well. If you guys believe that you can just sit there for half an hour or half a day and spin up something and you're going to make millions of dollars, it's not going to happen. I want to show you guys something else that I found yesterday, and I think this is very important for all of you to watch to get a little bit of an understanding as to where we are, because things are changing. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not sure. Let's see. So many bookmarks. You guys see it's a lot happening. Where did I don't think it's on this account. Let's go over here. So I'm going to be coding all day. Oh yeah, here we go. So let me just read this to you quickly. Let me just try to do the TLDR. So what they're basically saying, the entire distribution layer is being written. So SaaS is not going to be the same. So let me just read it. I can't do a TLDR. Sorry, not good at it. Sequoia just called the end of the entire go-to-market era, and most SaaS companies won't realize what hit them for 18 months. Product-led growth was built on one assumption: humans would try the software. The entire playbook since 2010 optimized for human discovery. Beautiful landing pages, frictionless free trials, viral invite loops, Slack, Dropbox, Zoom, Calendly, 200 billion plus in market cap, created by winning users first 5 minutes. None of that matters in an agent. None of that matters if an agent is picking the software. Claude doesn't care about your hero image. It can't be impressed by your Dribble awards. It's reading documentation, parsing user reviews, checking API reliability, and matching features to use case. All the surface level polish that convinced lazy humans to click sign up becomes irrelevant now. The new PLG funnel, what does PLG mean? Funnel, I'm not good with these acronyms. I grew up in Germany. I was doing business in Germany almost all my life, so I have absolutely no idea. So funnel isn't landing page, free trial, activation, conversion. It's agent query, documentation scan, feature match, recommendation. Which means the new moat looks completely different. You don't need the best onboarding, you need the best documentation. You don't need viral loops, you need structured data that agents can parse. You don't need a beautiful UI for the first session, you need an API that an agent can actually call. So documentation is now very important, and also usefulness is very important. How useful is your application to society, to the world, to the digital sphere, to agents? Things are changing. I do believe that people are still using the internet and they want websites to look nice. But at the end of the day, we're building now a complete different animal, right? And we're having whatever, Ralph Wiggum's messing around and doing stuff and searching around and trying to make things happen. But I don't think a lot of people want to build now, but we're still, I think it's harder than ever before. It's not easier, it's harder. to make a application that will really convert, even the big players are fighting, right? You got Google, you got Claude, you got Anthropic, you got Google, you got OpenAI, Chinese companies coming in, you got Kimi, you got Manus, you got all these, and is there anybody out there that uses them all, right? I don't know. I don't think it's going to be, it's gotten harder. Even if it's easier to build now, it's harder to actually build something that is really useful. And everybody out there that is now, that are sitting there and having their 50,000 sub agents trying to find something, build something, create something, most of them are just spending tokens. They're never gonna get anywhere. They're never going to be able to build anything of use. They're gonna learn a cool skill though, right? A lot of this is probably like research. How far can I go? How far can I push the limits? Will Ralph Wiggum really create something of use? How many goes does it need to create it? How good are my docs? Do I have to make it more clear? Do I have to change the way I speak to the AI? So you're learning a lot of very important skills. But I think it could be the case that SaaS is dying slowly. So SaaS is not going to be that important anymore, right? Me building now this crazy voice application, I'm not expecting this application to live for 5 years and be super successful. I see myself starting somewhere, building on top, evolving and changing it as the market and the world expects the economy, because I want to make money with it. So, I always give the example. I remember a friend, a relative of mine, had her own business and really didn't make it. And the reason is because she didn't go with the flow. She stuck with her old ways of doing things. Okay. Now, back in the day, you could stick with the old way of doing things for a couple of years without anyone noticing, without your books noticing it, right? Without your revenue really noticing it. Well, yeah, you'll notice it a little bit, but it took a couple of years. So you had like a window that was, I don't know, a couple of years long, and you just had to get on board with the new stuff at some point. Otherwise, your company dies. Now it's accelerated, right? So we're going to have, so if you don't make it within 6 to 8 months, you're going to be left behind. If you don't add on and evolve, you're going to be left behind. This is the world we're in now. So it's more fast paced, which is not cool. If I'm honest with you, it's not okay, because people's stress levels are going to be higher now. We're going to be more stressed out. We're going to be freaking out even more. Look at all the people that are sitting there with their 50,000 sub agents trying to create something. It's high stress. It doesn't matter if it's the AI now that does it. It's still high stress for you, because you got to pay for all those tokens. That's why I'm building local agents, that I don't have to worry about that. Also, your whole data, right? I'm going to write a piece up on Ralph Wiggum, and also a piece on CoWork. You guys can go check it out here. Give me a subscribe. Number one, subscribe. Okay, subscribe to my newsletter. It's free, right? I really spend time and research all of this. It's let me see, where's that page? Home posts, login. Do I have to do this? Oh yeah, here, my LLM news, your 5-minute LLM video and audio AI digest. Yeah, I already got 5 pieces. So I am going to put out a Ralph Wiggum report and also the CoWork thing, so that you get a bigger picture, right? Because I am not a Claude, what do I call I'm not part of the Claude cult, right? There are some people that are like, I'm just going to use Claude, nothing else. Others say I'm just using GPT and nothing else. I don't mess with that. I mess with everything. So my perspective is a little bit wider, right, than maybe other people's perspective, because they're just so narrow-minded and tunnel vision and just focused on one product. I use a lot, so it's just a little bit more refreshing. But anyways, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. Architecture matters, design, the way you populate your database matters. I hope I said that right. I'm still kind of with those proper terms. I understand the thing, but from my lens, because I'm not a programmer, and I didn't go to school for it. So these words, I usually have to really, use them properly, which doesn't always happen. So excuse me for that, but I think you understand. And you're not building an app in a day. It's just not going to happen, right? Maybe if you sit there for 12 hours and then hammer into those keys and it's a very simple app. But I think everybody already built those simple apps, like a calorie scanner, or like make me an anime. What else would be really simple apps? I am building a little side project too for the same industry. It's a document maker. I think that's super valuable, and that might be a very small project that I can spin up in a day. But it's not like that project is going to be making me millions of dollars, because I mean, how much is someone going to pay to have a document created? They're definitely not going to be paying $50, right? So, it's a lot of work. I've been coding for the past month or two every day, every freaking day. There was not one day where I have not coded with AI. And it's a lot of learning. It's a lot of learning. So yeah, there are a lot of decisions that you have to make that are very important decisions that will shape how your app works and how your app flows, and how people are going to use it. And is it economically friendly? Does it make sense? Is it easy for the user? Is it also easy for you? There are so many things that go into this where you really have to be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't know. I have to sit back. That's why it's cool if you have other people that also do the same, and then you can just ask them what they think about it. Best thing is you have a professional developer, a professional software engineer that can give you like, I would do it this way, or it can just help you with your decision, right? Most of it is based off of logic. So it's not like you need hardcore skills. But if you have a professional software engineer that has been doing this for way longer than you, then it's sometimes helpful to just be like, hey, yeah, can you what would you do, right? You can frame it in a sentence or two, and then just ask the person, what would you do? It's like one answer. It's like, it doesn't take long. You don't have to pay anybody consulting for that. Just ask a friend, frame your question properly so that you can get a good answer, and then you're good to go. I made a decision. So it's really not, I'm going to pre-purchase the numbers and put them there. That's the best. That's the best for now. And of course, you could be like, at some point, build the super intelligent system that's behind that does all the work for you. But there are a couple of regulatory things that have to be put in place for a number, like a person has to be in the US and so on and so forth. So you just want to make sure that you're protective of that no one can abuse your system. I hope that makes sense. Okay, well, anyways, people, that's all I got for you guys. Where's my stream? It's here. I wish you guys a beautiful, thank you, Brandon. That's so cool. I'll be in your space in a moment. So Brandon and DJ and VR, all three hardcore businessmen, are coming together today to speak about startups and all these things that are just relevant now. Right? In today's day and age, super relevant. I do believe everybody should start doing their own thing, even if it's just a side hustle, because we don't know where this is all going to go. And even if you keep your job, which if not all jobs are going to vanish, it's nonsense. But think about AI micromanagement and being. So if you know about the Jetson story, the real story, not you as a child watching the Jetsons, understanding the backstory of all of this. Mr. Jetson was actually a slave of that time. They were abusing this poor dude. You guys look at the Jetsons again from a new lens, and you'll understand what I mean. It's hardcore. We don't want to be in that situation. We want to own our stuff. We want to be more in charge. And oops, now is the chance to kind of dive into that. That's why I'm so interested in Web3. That's why I study all these new techs and new tech and see how that all comes together, right? Because I have a feeling sometimes, these crypto scams and such, it's all covering up what really is under the blankets. What is the true breakthrough revolutionary tech? Double spending, Bitcoin, study that, understand that, cutting out the middleman. These are things that you need to focus on, and not like, oh, I'm going to make $1 million with crypto. F that. Not F that, but that's just another aspect of it. You need to understand these underlying tech. Okay, that wasn't real English, but sorry, I'm bilingual. I'm sorry. I'm not so good with English sometimes. But I hope that makes sense. So study, right? Learning is not over. It started. We are relearning things that we forgot. Being more independent, being more independent, taking control, being in charge. This is the year, the era of taking control over your life and what is happening. And it's possible, right? But if you're just going to sit back and watch the show and focus on, I don't know, whatever, create a naked woman with AI, I don't know, and think that you're going to make a buck with that, because everybody can do that. It's not hard. It's not hard, right? It's really not hard. The easy stuff, it's going to be very hard to compete with the easy stuff. So I hope that helps. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Happy weekend. And talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.